about 3 lines from the bottom. Another member of Reb Chaim in the name of Reb Yesi called him anything that came out of the mouth of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it was a good thing. Afilu atnai, if it was conditional, Hashem said, "You do this, and you'll be blessed." Lo chazabai. It wasn't retracted. He never went back on it. Minala min Moshe Rabbeinu. How do we know this? From none other than Moshe. Shenem aharef ameni v'ashmidem. Moshe said, Hashem said, "I'm going to destroy Klal Yisrael. I'm going to make you, Moshe, into Klal Yisrael. You'll be the new father of Am Yisrael, not Avram Avinu. All the Jews will be wiped out, and it'll just be you. We'll start from scratch." So what happened? Moshe davened for Klal Yisrael. That's all the tefillahs are saying. It says in Meit Shiva, all the tefillahs that Moshe said when he davened for Klal Yisrael. So what happened? So Avagav the boy Moshe Rachamei Allah, even though Moshe asked for compassion, for forgiveness, Ubatla, and Hashem cancelled this gzeira that he would wipe out Klal Yisrael. Even so, he still kept this promise with the seed of Moshe. Shenema, meaning Moshe's kids expanded, they became massive. Shenema, b'nei Moshe Gershom v'Eliezer, he had Gershom v'Eliezer. V'yu b'nei Eliezer Rechavia Harosh, and Eliezer's son was Rechavia Harosh. B'nei Rechavia Rabu L'Mala, and Rechavia's children were exceedingly high amount of children. V'tana Rabbi Yosef L'Maila Meshishim Riboy. It means, what does it mean L'Maila? He had more than 60,000. Shishim Riboy, 600,000. So his grandson had 600,000 tzeitzayim. So even though Hashem said to Moshe, "I'll wipe them out, I'll make you into a great nation," and Moshe davened, he didn't wipe them out, but still they were made into a great nation. Just from Zer of Moshe. Unbelievable thing. Maybe that's why there's so many, there's a disproportionate amount of, Kohanim in Klal Yisrael, right? Because he had so many kids. As a Rabbi, how do you know this? There's a Gershav, a Ravi or Ravi. Ksiv hachal Rabu Lamala. They had many above. Ksiv hasam bnei Yisrael parav yishsu v'yirbu. So this yirbu, there's a hekesh, some type of abnormal miracle that they had. He had so many grandkids. Zayin Amud Beis. We finished all the memers of Reb Chaim in the name of Reb Yesi. Now there's a bunch of memers. Reb Chaim in the name of Rishonim ben Yochai. Reb Chaim ben Yochai. Miyosha Barakos Brochos. From the day that Hashem created the world, lo haya adam shekarei adain, shekarei lakadosh baruch hu adain. From when Hashem created the world till Avram Avinu was born, no one called Hashem the master, the adain. Ad sheba Avram Avinu v'karei adain. So you're talking about roughly 1,948 years. No one called Hashem the master. Shenem of Yema Adai Shem Elokim B'ma Eida Kirishena. How will I know that I will inherit? So you see, Avram Avinu called him Adain. Now take a look in the top Taisvus. Taisvus asks him Taima. V'ksiv Baruch Hashem Eloke Shem. That Shem was considered also like Shem himself. Baruch Hashem Eloke Shem. So you see, the other people knew about Hashem. Shem ben Noach. Adam Rishon, Noach, Shem was alive in the time of Avram Avinu. He was born before Avram Avinu. So they sons of Yeshleim, but the Hasam Einai Ba'alef Daled. It says Baruch Hashem with the letters Yud Kei Vav Kei. It doesn't say Aleph Daled. So Taisus Shu Loshen Adnas. Taisus is hinting here that what does it mean that no one called him Adon? It doesn't mean that no one recognized that there was a Bayrei. No one knew that there was Hashem in the world. They knew. They called him Yud Kei Vav Kei. He's the master of the world. So some explain that means they knew there's a creator. The Shem Yud Kei Vav Kei is Hayu Hayvav Yeh. He's above time. He's past, present, future. He's Mahave. He created the world. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's still in the world. He's still running the world. Avram Avinu, some say, was the first one that realized he's still running the world. He's the master. He's the master of the world. He's the one in control of everything. Even nowadays, he's controlling everything. It's not just he created the world and he left us. Avram said he's still here. He's the Adon. Some say, but there's another kasha they ask is that it says the Adam Rishon. They asked Adam Rishon, Adam Rishon gave names to everything, and said, "What's my name? My name is Adam because I come from the Adama." And he said, "What's your name? You're Aleph Daled Nun Yud. You're the Adon." That's what the Medrash says. You're the master. So you see, the Adam Rishon called him Adon. There's a Medrash. That's a kasha. You see, the Adam Rishon called him Adon. So some say that's not Mefurish in the pasuk. It's a Medrash. Okay. Others say, you know what? He called him Adon. He said, "This your name is Adon. You're the master. Adon Aleph Daled Nun Yud Adni." As some pronounce it, some use instead of saying Shem Hashem, Adni. You're the Adni. He gave him the name, but he didn't use it. Avram Avinu was one that called him it. The Rashba says, interesting pshat, Avram Avinu was Korayadin. He was able to prove to other people, to call him the name and say, he's the Adin, he's the master of all. He was the first one to be able to go ahead and spread monotheism. He was the first one to do it. No one else could do it. Other people had the feeling that there's a God, there's a master of all, but they couldn't express it, they couldn't explain it, they couldn't prove it. Avram Avinu was the first one, Shekari Adon. He was able to go out and tell other people that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the master of the world. Omar Rav says, after Daniel, when Daniel was in trouble, why was he answered? Because of Avram Avinu. Shnema va'at shema Elokeinu al tfilas avodecha v'al tachononav v'ponecha mikdashecha shomim leman adni adoi Shem. Right? Leman chalemi bai lei leman Avram shekarcha odain. Do it not for me, but for Avram Avinu who called you a master. So Daniel himself, when he was in the lion's den, what did he do? He asked for Yeshua in the name of Avram Avinu. Rav Yechon Mishum ben Yochai. Misha minayin she'ein marat. Sorry. Minayin she'ein marat l'adol mishas kasei. Shenema panei elecha v'nechayselach. So before we had the same name in the name of Rabbi Yosi, now Rabbi Yechon is saying it in the name of Mishum ben Yochai. That you don't appease someone when he's angry. Now's not the time. Wait till the guy calms down. Another member. From the day Hashem created the world, no one thanked the Kodesh Baruch Hu until Leah came. When she had the fourth son, Yehuda, she said, "Shnema Pam Oides Hashem." Now I will thank Hashem. Everyone else, what do you mean? No one else thanked Hashem till Leah showed up? What does that mean? Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. No one else thanked Hashem. Adam Rishon Nach. People, what does it mean? This is a real pella. There was a lot of tzaddikim before Leah came. How could that be? So some want to say that first of all, why was she made at Hashem with the fourth child? Because there was 4 wives Yaakov had, and everyone knew there's going to be 12 shvatim. So each one was supposed to get 3. Once she had the 4th child, she thanked Hashem that she got more than what she's deserved. More than she's supposed to get. That's what it means she thanked Hashem. Wow. She realized that she's getting more than she deserves. That's already a big deal. Others want to say that the Gra, very lit for Shipshat, listen to this. You can never really thank Hashem truly because you never know if what happens to you, if it's for good or for bad. You might think it's fantastic, but things that look like they're great, people can suffer from. But when she saw this son, Baruch HaKodesh Yehuda, she saw David coming from the son, she saw Mashiach coming from the son, that's pure good. Then she thanked Hashem. Wow, this is pure good. Malchus based David, Shlomo, David, all the tzaddikim. And she thanked Hashem. Unbelievable pshat. Pnei Yeshua says a very fascinating pshat. Pnei Yeshua says, it could be, I don't think he says it could be, but that's how I understand him. Before Leah came around, people thought you can't thank Hashem. Because everything that happens is grace of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You get it, you get what you deserve. Why are you thanking Hashem? You did something, you get pschar. You bad, you get punished. Leah was the first one who said, no, we should thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's why she was Zeichet to Yehuda, to David. David, who sings Shirs V'Tishbachos, comes from Leah. Why? She's the one that brought the idea of thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu into the world. This is a fundamental part of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is thanking him. Okay. But it's a pella. I want to say pshat, like, you have to say some pshat. Well, pshat, Leah's the first one. It could be that everyone thanked Hashem. But she was the first one that, I guess, did it to a certain darga that she felt like she's totally b'shur. But the rest of her life, they would say, like, every time she saw her kid, Yehuda, she should remember being grateful to Hashem. She made it into her Veda. She made it into her essence. Wow, now I have to become someone that just always sings to Hashem. My son's Yehuda, every time she calls him, she remembers. Apal Ma'id Hashem. Now I'm going to be grateful to Hashem. Okay. Says the gemorah, Reuven. What's going on with Reuven? Amr Belezer, Amr Leah. What does the name Reuven come from? Leah said, Ru'uma ben beni le ben chami. Look at the difference between my son, Reuven, and my father-in-law's son. Who father-in-law is Yitzchak? And my father-in-law's son, Esav. Why, what's the difference? The ilu ben chami, Esav, avagav de medaite zvine le bechirosei. Esav sold the Bechor from Rotzen. He wanted to sell his birthright. He was hungry. He sold his birthright. Right? He had full knowledge. He could have gone out and whatever, gone and bought a pizza. He didn't. He sold the birth for a plate of lentils. Right? He sold the Bechor to Yaakov, and still Chazal Maksiv Bey. What did Yaakov say? V'yiste Mesav es Yaakov. Esav hated Yaakov because of this. He said, this is why his name is Yaakov. He's cut me off twice now. And Esav wanted to kill. Esav tried to kill Yaakov. He sent his son, Elipaz, go kill Yaakov, right? He sent him, kill the guy. He bought it from you. You sold it to him. Why you want to kill him now? You sold it. It was your decision. You knew. But Reuven, even though the Bechor was taken away from him, it was taken away from Balkoche. He didn't want to give away the Bechor. Yosef the Bechor say, Minei. Yosef took away the Bechor. Why? When he moved the beds of his father, when Rachel died, and Yaakov put his bed in the tent of Bilhah, so he said, what? If my mother had to share the Yaakov Avinu with her sister, she's going to have to share it with Bilhah also. So he put the bed in Leah's tent. And then it says because of that, he moved around the beds, so he lost the Bechor because of that. Nasna Bechorasel of Bnei Yosef. It was given to Bnei Yosef, meaning, what does it mean Bnei Yosef? Why not Bnei Yosef? Meaning that Yosef, because he got Pishtayim, so his two kids were each one like a shevet. Menashe and Ephraim, each one's like its own shevet now. Even so, he wasn't jealous of Yosef. How do I know he wasn't jealous? When Reuven heard what went on, they sold Yosef to the bar. Reuven was the one that saved him. He could have been jealous. He should have been jealous. Look what Esav tried to kill him, to kill Yaakov. Reuven, not only did he not try and kill him, he saved him. He saved him. That's why he's called Reuven. Rus. What does it mean, Rus? Now, I guess he's going into all the Lashonis, why everyone's called what they're called. Rus. My Rus, what's Rus? I'm Rav Yechanan. Shuzach Sa, Shuzach Avyatzamena David. Rus had a grandson called David. Shurveu LaKadosh Baruch Hu b'shirayis v'tishpachos. They satiated HaKadosh Baruch Hu, saturated Shirova like Kosher Vaya, overflowing. David was overflowing with shirayis v'tishpachos. Minalan. So the Gemara asks now, Minalan d'shma Gairim. How do you know that the name of a person is Gairim? A person's name actually has an effect on how he acts, how he lives. Amar Belezad, Amar Kra. It's a pasuk. Look at what Hashem's done. It's Hashem shamais. So you see from here, there's a creek sieve, whatever, shamais. That the person's name has an effect on him. So some Achronim saying, how does a person's name have an effect? Hashem knows before you're born what type of person you're going to be. So he puts a Ruach HaKodesh in parents' brain that they call it a name that's going to have that effect on the person. You've got to be very careful what name you give a guy. Amr Reb Yechanan Reb Shimon bar Yochai. Another memra of Reb Yechanan and the name of Reb Shimon bar Yochai. Kosher tabus. This is incredible, memra. Kosher tabus rabasech beisai shal adam yesem lechemes gai gomagad. It's worse when a person has tabus ra, fighting, bad kids, whatever you're going to say, like fighting it within the house. Yesem lechemes gai gomagad. It's worse than lechemes gai gomagad. Shenema mizmil David b'vachim fnei Avshalom b'nai, when David ran away from Avshalom, Chesiv Basrei, and the pasuk says about that, Hashem marabot Torah. How bad is it for me? How it's so hard. Rabim Kamar, like people are chasing me. But ve'ilu b'mechemes gai gomagad ksev lama ragshu gai melubim yagorik. Ve'ilu marabot Torah like ksev. It doesn't say marabot Torah. So you see the marabot Torah. Look how there's so many afflictions I have. Says that by when his son's chasing him. So it's worse to have Tarbus Ra in your house than to have Mechemes Gai Gomagai. Yeah, I guess it's similar to Maimer Chazal, that someone has a bad wife, Ein Rei Pnei Gehenim. Similar idea. So, I mean, here he mamish wanted to kill him. Tarbus Ra, I guess it means like the guy is a really bad kid. This kid wanted to kill him. So what they ask is, okay, let's keep going. One more line. Mizmor David b'varcha v'yav shalom b'nei. There's a mizmor David. David sang when he was running away from Avshalom. Mizmor David. He sang. Kinel David baile. He should have said like a lamentation. Why is David singing? He's running away. Someone's trying to kill him. His son is trying to kill him, and he's busy singing. He should be lamenting. Oh, what's going on with me? Why is he singing? Amr of Shimon ben Avishalom. This is very weird. Amr of Shimon ben Avishalom. You know who said this? This name is the name of Shimon ben Avishalom. Happens to be, he's talking about when David was running from Avshalom. They ask, how could he be called Avishalom? Why would someone call the kid Avshalom? Avshalom was a Rasha. You're not supposed to name after Rasha. Why is he called, maybe he's called Avishalom. Avshalom. So, Mashal Ma'adav Adayma. What's it like? If someone, there's a bill against you, there's a psak din, there's a gzeira. You owe $1 million, right? Before you pay back, you're worried. After you pay back, you're happy. After of it, when after David was chayta, so Hashem said to him through the Navi, guess what? You're going to have trouble. You're going to have Rama Beisecha in your house. So David was incredibly sad. Maybe the person in my house is coming after me is going to be a mamza, he's going to be a eved. He's not going to have Rahman Sami. Given the chazad Avshalom, who once he saw his Avshalom, Sameach. Mishimach Yama Mizma. Once he saw Avshalom's one chasing him, well, there's Avshalom. They are going to understand. Avshalom, he tried to kill him. Avshalom tried to kill him, right? Why are you so happy? What are you happy about? You're happy because now you know it's Avshalom. It's a big machlokes. Some say because he made a mistake. He thought Avshalom would have Rachmanus on him. Turns out he didn't have Rachmanus on him. Others say no, it's because Achitophel wanted to kill him, but he thought Avshalom really didn't want to kill him. Only he was miyat to Achitophel, he wanted to kill him. Some say it's because if it would have been if he was going to be chased by a mamzer or an eved, he's right, they would torture him. If someone in his house hates him, he's going to try and kill him. He's going to not just try and kill him. He'll tie him up or torture him. It ain't going to be pretty. If it's Avshalom, why is he trying to kill him? He wants the melucha. He wants to be the king. He's got no business trying to torture me. He's just going to put a bullet in my head and that's it. End of the story, right? There's going to be no torture involved. Others want to say that, you know why? Because when David saw, it's a beautiful pshat, when David saw that it's not going to be al derech hateva. I'll be derech hateva, kid, mamzer, avodim, people try and get the throne, right? That's normal. It's totally abnormal for a son to try and kill his father to take the throne. So when he saw that it's going to be something l'mayla mateva, he's always going to feel the Yad Hashem involved. It's not like, he'll never feel like this is derech hateva. This is always coming from Shemayim. So therefore, he was happy that he's always going to feel that connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Interesting pshat. It could be pshat. I have my own little pshat. Maybe it makes a great story. His own kid tried to kill him. Well, remember the Dairis that, look what David went through. His own kid tried to kill him. Okay, it says the gemorah. Mutilis garis b'Rishonim. You're allowed to fight with Rishonim. In this world, people who leave the Torah, they praise the Rasha. The people that keep the Torah is Garbam. They fight with the people that leave the Torah. So they ask a few questions. Mutilis garis b'Rishonim? It doesn't say it's a mitzvah. It's just no asa. It doesn't say it's a mitzvah. And what does it mean? Ba'ila mazeh. Mutilis garis b'Rishonim, ba'ila mazeh. Elama. In the next world, we're not going to be with the Rishonim, right? Of course, Ba'ila Mazeh. Like, what other halacha does it say? You know what? You're allowed to eat chicken, Ba'ila Mazeh. It doesn't say that. So you're allowed to... Where does it say Ba'ila Mazeh? So what they want to say is, what it means is like this. Even Binyani Ba'ila Mazeh, you're allowed to fight with the Rishonim, even when it comes to Binyani Ba'ila Mazeh. Binyani Ba'ila Mabah, mitzvahs, and that type of thing. Of course, you can argue with them. But even Binyani Ba'ila Mazeh, you're allowed to fight with them. Others want to say, it's coming to say that Ba'ila Mazeh, where a Rasha could be mazik you, right? They've got shilton. Still, what he's saying is, you don't have to say, says Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, you don't have to say, like, I've got to protect myself. I've got to be careful. No, lo yisachanef. Don't be a chanef. You're allowed to fight with him, even though it's dangerous. It's muta. He's not saying it's a mitzvah. He's saying, even though it's Ba'ila Mazeh and it's dangerous, still it's muta to do. That's not called, don't do something wrong. It's interesting that you want to know where someone is. I didn't see anyone saying this, but you don't know if someone's about to leave the Torah. He's still a bad Torah. He's leaving the Torah though. Oizvei Torah. He's leaving the Torah. How do you see if someone's Oizvei Torah? Who's he praising? Is he praising tzaddikim? Is he praising the good guys? Or is he praising the bad guys? Yahal Rasha. You see where someone's heart is when you see it in the world. Hashem Yerachem, the whole world praising like terrorists, talking good about them, and then bashing Israel. You see where the heart is. That's pure rishus. That's real rishus. You see, we start praising Rishonim. Okay, Tani Namayachi. Rav Destoi, there's another name that says the same thing. Rav Destoi Bar Matoin, another Tana. Ayman Mutal is Gaz B'Rishonim Ba'alim. As Shneim Oiz V'Teira Yahal Rasha. V'im L'Chai Shechadam. V'im Lach Shecha. If someone whispers in your ear, Loimar, don't go fight with the Rishonim. V'aksiv Al Titchader B'Mreim. Al Tekana B'Yisavla. Don't fight with the Mreim, with bad guys. Al Tekana B'Yisavla. Don't be jealous. Amalai, say back to Mishali B'Y Naikfai. If you're scared, if you're worried about it, Aymaken. He's talking about someone who's worried. Ella Al Tzach B'Rem Lios K'Mreim. Don't fight with the Mreim to be like the Mreim. Al Tekana B'Yisavla Lios K'Yisavla. Don't be jealous of Yisavla to also do Ra. Says in the pasuk, the only thing you should be jealous of, you see a guy having a great time partying, having a blast. The only thing you should be jealous of is Girash Hashem Kol Hayom. How many times you see a guy sitting there learning Torah and like, wow, I'm so jealous. You see a guy davening a long Shmoneh Esrei, wow, I'm jealous. That's what you should be jealous of. You see a guy doing Averis, we're jealous. Wow, this guy's having a party. He's having a real good time. Wow, I wish I could be there doing the same thing. No, don't be jealous of that. It's stupid. You see a guy learning. You see a guy putting extra hours in. A guy coming early to shul. That's what you should be jealous of. From Yitzchak, Rabbi Yitzchak says, even when you see Rosh Hashanah Mesachach it's a machlekes here. Rabbi Yitzchak says, no. If you see someone, Shasham Mesachach Esloi, Al Tizgarba, you see a guy that he's successful. Hashem is giving him an easy time. He's a Rasha. But Hashem says, you know what, he's going to be successful. Al Tizgarba, don't fight with him. Shneema, Yechilu Dracha B'choleis. V'lo not only that, Ela Shezeicha B'din. This Rasha, if the Shaz Mesachach he wins in din in Shemayim. He's Zeicher in din in Shemayim. Shneema, Moreh Mishpadecha Meneged. V'lo yoid El Shroi B'tzarav. He gets to see his Shenema Kol Tzarav Yapech B'hem. He gets to see his enemies suffer. So what is it? Should we fight with the Rishonim or not? Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says fight with the Rishonim, you're allowed to, and he says don't. So like Ashaha, B'bili Didei, B'mili Dishmaya. When it comes to your own personal business, don't fight with the Rishonim. Don't argue with them. If you got issues with the guy. But if a guy is a Rosh Hashanah, you're arguing him about Mili Dishmaya, then it's fine. We by saying in different territories. Hava Mili Dishmaya. We always talk about Mili Dishmaya. Of course, Mili Da'aretz, you should never argue with a Rasha. What's the difference? If you see a regular Rasha, normal Joe Schmo Rasha, you can fight with the guy. But if you see a guy who's super successful, don't mess with him. Either way, we're talking about a Rosh Hashanah. We're talking about a Rosh Hashanah. The difference is if you're a tzaddik. If you're a tzaddik gomer, you can fight with the guy. If you're not a tzaddik, then leave the guy alone. Gomer vuna maiksiv lama tabit bagdim tachvish. Gomer vuna maiksiv lama tabit bagdim tachvish bebela rasha tzaddik menu. What does this pasuk mean? Rosh balei tzaddik. Does it Rosh eat up the tzaddik? Vaksiv Hashem lo yazvenu biyadai. Hashem won't leave a tzaddik in the hand of a rasha. V'chsev lo yunel tzaddik kaloven. The tzaddik won't suffer b'chol. Ela tzaddik mimenu balei tzaddik gomer. Ela tzaddik mimenu balei. Tzaddik gomer ain't balei. This rasha, he's able to eat someone up who's a little bit more of a tzaddik than him. He's also a rasha. He's better than him, right? But if the guy's a real tzaddik, then he can't. By saying back to the original question, what's the chilek between the two? It doesn't matter if you're a tzaddik gomer or not a tzaddik gomer. Even if you're a tzaddik gomer, leave the guy alone if Sham is cheklei. If he's having success, even if you're a tzaddik gomer, don't fight with the guy. Okay, we'll wrap up over here. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.